Hey, this is Jared, and today we're going to be talking about some special music ideas for both small groups and soloists. So here we go. All right, this one's a winner. We're geared up, ready to go. So you have some folks who really want to do some special music soon, but you don't know where to find the music. I'm here to tell you it's easier than you think. Here are some of my favorite places to go to find material to use for special music projects, for worship as well as for school and other performance types. So let's dig into it. The best and easiest place to find special music ideas for church is the hymnal. Now I know what you're thinking. Why in the world would I use a hymnal? What's so special about hymns? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's one of the easiest places to find music. Hymns and hymnals are so readily available. They're in almost every church. And the tunes that you would find in those hymnals, those hymns, are very familiar to your singers, your instrumentalists, your musicians. The texts are awesome for singers. And most of the texts and tunes are in the public domain. What that means for you is that you can arrange them however you see fit. The possibilities are endless, and you don't have to worry about copyright infringement. That's very important. Just make sure the hymn that you want to use is actually in the public domain. It's crazy how many aren't, and it's always best to double check. Also remember, you'll need to check the tune and the text separately, because often they're from different composers, although not always. A great online resource for hymns that I like to go to is called hymnary.org. I'll link the site in the description below. This is for if you don't have access to a hymnal already. I think this is an absolutely great place to go for clear PDF copies that are printable and that will be accurate to what you're needing. It has all the best hymns out there. Hymnary.org. Go check it out. And the best part about it, it's free! Free! You know, if you're not sold on using hymns just yet, I wrote an article a little while back for inhymn.com, and there's a discussion there that might just change your mind. I'll link that in the description below also. If you're wanting to do something a little more modern, maybe something that you've heard on the radio or on YouTube, try finding the sheet music on Song Select. Now, you'll need to make an account with them, which can be a little bit pricey if you're doing it on behalf of a very large church. But the reward is access to almost any contemporary music piece that you can think of. And new ones are added regularly, so go check it out. Also, through Song Select, you can choose the way you want to digest the music. That means you can get copies of lead sheet, melody and piano score, or the melody and harmony vocal scores. It's awesome to have that kind of selection. These scores can be used as the basis for your instrumental or vocal arrangement. And the piano score often has the instrumental melody lines built in already for you. The piano score of "O Come to the Altar" from Elevation Worship comes to mind, which has the instrumental solo line built in before the voices enter. It's really neat. Now that you've figured out the source for where you're going to get your music, you need to decide what piece you're going to choose. A lot of this comes down to preference, but there are some things you should consider. What you're looking for is something that fits the range needs of your musician. For instruments, this is going to vary. If you're familiar with the instrument, try and keep it within the middle range as much as possible. If you aren't familiar with the ranges, why don't you ask in the comments below and we'll see if we can't help you out. For singers, octave Ds are generally regarded as singable range. So you would be pretty safe to pick something that fits within that range for most singers. Of course, you're also looking for something that's appropriate for the season in the Christian calendar that you're experiencing. If you're nearing Christmas, pick a carol. If you're in Lent, maybe pick a spiritual or something super mournful, like "Oh, the Deep, Deep Love of Jesus." That's a nice hymn. Or the Getty piece, "How Deep the Father's Love for Us." Just be aware of the season that you're in and be sensitive to the general attitude or any hymns that are usually used for that season. The last thing you're looking for is something the performer will actually enjoy doing. Ask yourself some questions, like, does the text have emotional content? Does it have a cool story that you can connect with? Is the melody fun to perform? If the answer is no, maybe consider something different. You'll thank you later. Okay, you've picked a song, so now what? Now that you've picked a piece, you're going to have to decide how you're going to perform it. The key for singers, instrumentalists, soloists, ensembles, the key for anyone is variety. Mix things up. Change the melody a little or a lot. Make some verses soft, some loud. Change the instrumentation between verse and chorus. Change styles for the last verse. Add a tag or a cadenza to the very end. You can do so many things. Just be creative and make it interesting. By simply injecting some basic musical interest into your song, you'll be able to make a simple hymn seem like an aria. Here are some special considerations for instrumentalists in particular. You will likely need to transpose the key of the piece into the instrument's key, especially if you're a wind player. If you're transposing on the spot, good luck. Even I still have problems transposing on the spot. And I've been playing my B-flat trumpet for nearly 14 years. If you do it all the time, you'll get better. But it's never a bad idea to go ahead and make some notes on your music, just to jog your mind a little bit, so that in the moment, you'll remember fingerings or the played key area. Whatever's going to make sense to you and help you remember, that's the kind of note you want to make. You know, if you've got some time before the gig, maybe you should consider plugging your part into a sheet music program and having it transpose the whole thing for you. It would only take one click to do what would take you lots of time and brain power in practice to do. And for the more adventurous or seasoned musicians out there, you may be wanting to do more than just change the style and dynamics between verses. You want to arrange your piece. Great! Here are some tools for you. What you need to arrange your piece is the tune or song that you want to arrange. Make sure it's in the public domain. Some blank sheet music or a sheet music program, and an idea of what the instrumentation needs to be. You've picked a song, now you just have to figure out what format you want to put it in. If you're planning on doing all of the arranging by hand, then a PDF file and some blank sheet music will do you just fine. That's all you need. You're done. Print the file, take the sheet music, scratch out your arrangement, and then you're ready to perform. But for computer users, MIDI files might be the way to go. MIDI is often the easiest to use when arranging because you can simply import the file, and most sheet music programs will go ahead and transcribe it for you. This saved me hours and hours of time in the past. Simply search for the song you want to arrange, attach the term MIDI file to it, and voila, you found a MIDI file. Hey! Make sure to listen to it and see if it's going to work for you, and then download it normally. Also, depending on the program you're using, you could always go to that program's community platform and find native file types for that program that you can import. Maybe somebody else has already done some heavy lifting for you and punched out the choir parts that you can use as the basis for a string quartet arrangement. Someone has already posted what you need to start in the community, and usually all you have to do is credit that person in your music when you're done. I've personally posted several handbell arrangements to the MuseScore community portal, and that's all I ask of anyone who uses them. Once you've found your file, you'll need to open it in a program. There are several options to choose from here. Two paid programs that come to mind are Sibelius and Finale. Both have their merits, and maybe I'll do an in-depth comparison later, but not now. What you need to know about those two in the simplest terms is Sibelius is intuitive, Finale is precise. Sibelius for me is the more user-friendly program of the two. It automatically does a bunch of stuff other programs don't do, like automatically amend rhythms when you overwrite something that's already there. For example, say you have a measure with quarter notes, and you want to make it a measure with eighth notes. When you change the first eighth note, you have a rhythmic conflict, and the program has to rectify that. Other programs, when given a rhythmic conflict like that, will go ahead and add rests instead, and it'll delete the notes you already punched in. So for the example above, you may have to key in every single eighth note. Sibelius anticipates that for you and goes ahead and retains the other eighth note on the same pitch as the quarter note. It treats notes more like you would and subdividing them rhythmically. Finale, in my opinion, is less intuitive, but you can do whatever you want with relative ease. This is especially useful for people who want to write music in unconventional ways. Well, what if you don't have any money? You're saying to me, Jared, I have no money. The only free option I recommend is MuseScore. I'll link it in the description below. I absolutely adore this program because it works and it's completely free to use. It does a lot of the same functions that other programs do, but without the subscription fee. What it doesn't offer are things like automatically telling you when a note is outside the playable range of an instrument. But if you're writing music for yourself and you know the instrument, that's not a problem. You're fine. But if you're writing for instruments that you aren't as familiar with, this might be a big deal. MuseScore will still do all the functions you need, though. And they have a very active community of music writers and arrangers. So feel free to browse the community portal if you need to find an arrangement. Now go, perform. Performing special music is such a neat opportunity for both amateur and pro musicians alike. Everyone benefits from the time, the effort that goes into preparing for something like this. And I hope that this video will help you to present a worthy offering. How do you go about arranging special music for events like this? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, consider subscribing to this channel. And don't forget to hit the like button on this video. All right, musicians, until next time, go in peace.